Hello Internet! Today I'm gonna do the unboxing of the SonicWALL Firewall. This is a highly secure device that you can use for your small business or your home, and it comes packed with many features like VPN, like virus protection, and many others that I'm gonna review in a few minutes. So let's proceed to start the unboxing so you can see what you can expect from the manufacturer. This is one of the smaller units that SonicWALL offers. So I'm gonna proceed and see what's inside the box. This is the wireless model, so I'm gonna take out the device from the box, and it comes wrapped into plastic. So let's take it out for a minute. And this is what comes inside the box, with the connections on the back for the antennas. Let's see what else is on the package. Here on the side, you're gonna find your power connector. You're gonna find your power cable to connect into the connector onto this end. You're gonna find the documentation, which consists of regulatory information, the quick start guide for the SonicWALL, and a few disclosures about the radio and the wireless signal. And also inside the box you're gonna find the 3 antennas that you will connect on the back of the device, on each one of the connections on the back of the unit. And a network cable. In the back of the unit you're gonna find 3 connections for the antennas, a console port that you're only going to use to do troubleshooting, connections number X4, X3, X2, X1, which is by default is the WLAN, where you're gonna connect your internet, and also you're gonna find X0, which is by default the LAN port, your local area network, where your computers at home are. So usually if you have more than 4 devices to connect into this unit, usually you will connect your switch on this port or on one of those 3 ports, which will be X4, X3 and X2, and that's the configuration by default. You can do other configurations, and I'm going to show you later on how to tweak it and how to apply different configurations to the unit. In the front you're going to find a USB connector and different LEDs indicating the operation of the unit. You're gonna find the power, the diagnostics. You're also going to find the wireless signal, whether it's secure and whether it's on and off, and there is and it has activity. And you're also going to find 2 rows of LED for the different connections that you have on the back, the 5 ports that you have on the back. And you're gonna see 2 rows if it is running at 100 megabits per second or at 1000 megabytes per second. This is the SonicWALL TZ300W, and this is one of the entry-level models for small businesses. Let's see how you plug in the antennas on the back. The 3 antennas. There is a smaller one, which is this one, that you can locate on the port on the middle. There is also 2 wider ones that go on the side of the unit, and you can twist the antennas to point in any direction that you see fit. So now that we have connected the antennas, the power cable that you will need to connect into the back of the power block. So basically I'm just gonna plug this in, and you have the power cable that is specific to this manufacturer. It comes in this shape that has 2 prongs separated by a clip at the end that you will need to connect over here in the back. You're going to have the X1 port that is going to be by default the WLAN, the wide area network, or the internet, and you're also going to have the X0 port, which is the LAN, your local area network. So let's set it up. I'm gonna connect the LAN cable into my computer, and I'm gonna set it up on the X0 LAN port It will boot up and you will see that your LAN port starts blinking and it gets active on the net. At this point, you're ready to start the configuration. So I'm gonna switch real quick to my computer to show you how you do the initial configuration of the SonicWall firewall and how do you start putting the different parameters that you will need to use under specific to your network. Let's switch to my screen real quick to browse to the default IP on the device and start the configuration. Make sure to connect the computer directly into one of the LAN ports on the firewall and connect your modem for the internet to the port X1, which is the default WLAN port for the network. The next thing that you should do is make sure that you're getting a dhcp address from the firewall, from the SonicWall, on the computer that is connected on the port X0. For that, since we are in Windows, we are going to open a command prompt and see what IP address you have received from the device. So let's take a look at it. So when I look into the details, this network connection, in this case the Ethernet 2 adapter, is getting this IP address from the SonicWall firewall, which in this case will be on the standard network address for the SonicWall firewalls when they come on the factory default settings. All the SonicWalls will come on the default address, which is 192.168.168.168. However, you must make sure that you have the computer that you connected onto the port X0 in dhcp mode, so it can acquire an address on that network range. So we are gonna launch the setup wizard. This is the easiest way to do it. And on the first screen is gonna greet you with a number of guides that you can use to configure your SonicWall. Let's hit next. It presents you with the default login credentials and it gives you the opportunity to change the password. I'm gonna do so. So let's hit next. And it states that you will have to configure the WLAN connection manually since there is nothing connected to it. So in this case, I already got the IP information from the provider. If you have not purchased or you do not have the static IP address from your internet provider, then make sure to do this setup when the device is connected to the actual modem that will be provided, or the device that will be providing the internet connection to your firewall. So make sure to connect it to your modem in case that you don't have an static IP address. However, if you do have an static IP address, you can just enter those details here for the static IP address. So since I already received the IP address information from the provider, I'm just gonna enter it here and I'm gonna type the IP address, the subnet mask, the default gateway, which is the modem provided by the ISP, the internet service provider, and you will have to enter the DNS servers. These IP address details are gonna be specific to your internet service provider. So those are not a standard. You will have to get it from them. In the case that you have a DSL line that it provides a dial-up connection, you may want to use one of the other options like PPoE or PPTP, but those are less common. So once you have entered all the IP address information, hit next, and it will save those details into the gateway. Let's wait for the SonicWall firewall to complete, and let's hit done. This is the very basic setup that will let you only set up the IP addressing information in order to get connected to the internet. So now you will be greeted with the default page for the SonicWall Network Security Appliance. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that the internal IP addressing information, it's the correct one that you want to use for your internal network. For example, the local area network DHCP inside the SonicWall firewall will provide addresses on this network range that we have here. This is the default for the SonicWall firewalls. Probably you want to change this IP address on the network range that you're using to match
whichever IP address range you want to have on your network. So on the network, I'm gonna go to interfaces, and right here interfaces, as you can see, is on the wrong network. You want to customize this to match the IP range that you want to have on your internal network. So in this case, we are gonna edit here, and we are gonna change that to 192.168.1.254, and the default gateway, just leave it optional. That's in the case that if it wasn't a different IP address from that one. And pretty much, let's go to advanced to see what else is here. You have different details to auto negotiate the connection, to use a different MAC address, and so forth. So I'm gonna save these details, and that's gonna make the SonicWALL firewall change the IP address on that network. That will be the internal IP address. Because the IP address change that you just did, you will be on a different network address. So now you need to wait and see if you have gotten a new IP address under that range. I'm gonna renew the IP address, and it will come back eventually. So let's log back in now that it came back in the new IP address. And now that we're inside the SonicWALL firewall, you will see under the network interfaces that the new IP address for the SonicWALL firewall is 192.168.1.254. So we have changed it to the correct IP address, and the dhcp server now has been automatically configured to provide addresses in that dhcp range. Initially, it will have given you an address by default IP range, which was 192.168.168.168. So now this SonicWALL has the basic parameters that you will need for it to connect to the internet. If you review the interfaces, you're gonna see that in the WAN port, the IP address information that we enter is already configured. So we're gonna install this SonicWALL at the client. In another video, or in a few more videos, because we're gonna be making a series about this, I'm going to be showing you the different features and capabilities that you can use from these devices, and how you can configure it to do all sorts of things to manage your network. Thank you so much for watching. That has been the basic configuration on a SonicWALL network security appliance, a firewall. Please subscribe to my channel so you can stay updated every time that I post a new guide to the SonicWALL firewall line of appliances, and hit the like button so we can keep producing these videos for you. Thank you. You have a beautiful day.